And last Sunday, we talked about the first agreement, which was what? Be impeccable with your word. All right. How'd you do with that? Try it a little bit? Yeah. And I talked a little bit about the divine order that I've been witnessing in this church. Because as we do this work, we start to see the divine order in life even more. And we've been working with holding the consciousness in this church for a long time. And we're starting to see now what happens. And so I'm repeating a little bit of what I said last week, that on a Thursday we had a connection with a recording artist, Aaron Abu, who came in and played his awesome sax on Sunday for us. I kept seeing the book and hearing the words, the Four Agreements. Knew I was supposed to do the series. The Thursday before I did the first talk, Jeff Spence, who used to play keyboard, came to visit. He brought a friend who has been the apprentice with Don Louise for 7 years. Don Louise wrote the book, The Four Agreements. And then, Monday morning, I gave the talk, Be Impeccable with Your Word, and I get up and open my emails, and there's an email from Ron and Judy, and they're sending me the affirmation they found in Science of Mind. It's entitled Renegotiating Agreements. And Don Miguel Ruiz writes, how much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. You see how it just keeps lining up? And then I came in Tuesday morning, and here's the new Unity magazine, and guess who's on it? Don Ruiz and his son, and these are in the bookstore. There's a great article in here. When we live the consciousness, when we start focusing on the good and on the positive, it starts appearing, and it starts lining up. Today's talk is on the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. Now, there's the same 3 requirements that are up for the first one: non-judgment, non-resistance, and be in presence. So here's what Don Ruiz writes. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Now, remember I talked a few weeks back about loving what is, and what Byron Katie says about suffering? It's what, Joe? Suffering is optional. Yes. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. He just got that Sunday. So what does this mean, not to take anything personally? It means that I do not allow the comments and actions of others to affect me. I can't control how someone else thinks and what they think about me. There are going to be people who like me and who don't like me, who love me, who hate me, no matter how I show up, right? So I can spend all my time, all my energy, preparing myself to please others, to impress others, to have them validate me. I can dress nice, do my hair, do my makeup, put a suit and tie on, or I can go casual, fancy pants or yoga pants. It doesn't matter. People are going to like me or not like me. Because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about what they're thinking, how they're seeing things. I remember when I was in my 30s, I was going to a class reunion. You know, when you go to your first class reunions, you just really want to impress people. So, I spent time, money, energy. I got the right dress. I got my hair done. Really, really made sure I looked good. And I walked in that night, and as soon as I entered the room, I got it. I realized that not And you're not trying to impress the guys. It's the women. It's your female classmates. Yeah, you're not right. And none of them cared about what I looked like. They were all worrying about what? What they looked like. Because they put that same time and energy in making themselves look good. It's not about me. It's about them and what's going on in their head. So confession time. I've got the other 3 agreements, real comfortable with them. This is my work. This one is my challenge. Because Don Ruiz talks about we make agreements as children, unconscious agreements, because of, parents and religion and what we grow up in. And so I unconsciously, as a child, accepted agreements that affected my self-worth. Over and over as a child, I heard, children should be seen and not heard. I was unable to even go into a store and talk to a worker in a store. I heard over and over, girls are not as smart or as important as boys. Girls don't go to college. And I didn't, because I didn't believe I could then. And then this one, as I got older, women should not be on the road driving. So, I accepted them. I was afraid to speak. I was afraid to be heard. I remember in high school that in order to get an A, you needed to participate in class, and you had to raise your hand and you had to speak. I could not do that. And so I would work so hard that they would have to give me an A, even though I didn't participate in class. I was overly sensitive of what people said to me, what people did. When I joined my friends, I've talked about living on a sailboat. When I joined my friend and her husband on their sailboat, and she was my best friend, she said to me, now Rose, I'm going to tell you something. I am not going to watch every single word I say to you. I had no idea I was that sensitive. Because you see, most of the time, the words and actions of others aren't really intended to hurt us. It's how I hear them. It's my interpretation, my perception of them that causes me suffering. Okay, but what about when they do mean to hurt us? There are those times too, right? So it's a direct personal attack or insult. Negative, angry, unkind words, lies, come from the other person's fears. It comes from their sense of lack of self-worth, their failure, their feeling of being rejected. So they feel threatened. And they see me as the bad guy. Their words, their actions are their defense and their protection to help them feel safer. So no matter how big that bully seems to be that's coming at me, that's all their protection, all their defense. What someone says and does, if it's directed at me, is saying more about them than it is me. What a shift. When I can make that shift, when I'm really feeling threatened by someone's action and words, if I can in a minute make that shift and say, wow, underneath there is somebody that's so unsure of themselves, so afraid that they have to put these walls up. Just because they cast me as the bad guy in their play, it doesn't mean I have to be it. Because it's their story, isn't it? I don't have to believe it. I don't have to be part of their drama. Get it? As soon as someone is threatening me, I don't have to play into it. I don't have to become part of it. When they throw their anger, their hate, their bitterness, I have the power to let it slide off. Just slide right off of me. Because nothing sticks until I decide to pick it up and carry it. You have to grab onto it. Don Miguel says, immunity to poison in the middle of hell is what we do when we practice nothing being personal, taking nothing against us. We don't have to accept or swallow their poison. We can kind of be like Superman. We become bulletproof, word action proof from others. We don't need to defend. Immunity in the middle of hell is the gift of this agreement. Ruiz teaches, we have been programmed to take responsibility for everything, including things we have zero responsibility for. So, when I find myself thinking, oh no, they don't like me, in that moment, what I have just done is I've allowed them to define who I am. And I've believed it. What others say and do is a projection of their perception. What others say and do is a projection of their perception. Just as what I say and do is a projection of my perception. Come on, try to say that one with me. Is a projection of my perception. Because it's not about me, and it's all about me. You get that switch? It's not about me. Good job, Andrew. It's not about me, it's what's going on in their life, but it's all about me if I allow it, if I accept it, if I take it on. Generally, others aren't thinking about us as often as we think they are. Who are they thinking about? Themselves. We know that, don't we? So when someone says or does something, it doesn't mean anything until I give it meaning. And then my meaning, what I give it, is what causes my suffering. Isn't that simple? Yeah, right. Like I said, this one is my big one. I allow myself to be sucked in to the victim mode. When I choose to hear, what I choose to hear, it is mirroring the thoughts I have inside about me. It's mirroring my self-worth, doubts, sadness, grief, anger, fear. Otherwise, their words wouldn't bother me. If I were secure, if I owned my truth, then no one's words could hurt me. So I want you to just take a moment and think of a time that you were hurt or offended by what someone said or what they did. It'll come real quick. I'm sure everyone just can grab onto that. And how long did you carry those words or actions with you? How long did you allow it to steal your joy, cause you stress and anxiety, unhappiness? How long did you allow someone else's words and actions to ruin your day, your week, your month, your years? When we do forgiveness work, it's usually around something like that, isn't it? When I take things personally, I agree with what the other person is saying, and it makes it all about me. I can't put the blame on them anymore. I've agreed with them. I've made an agreement with them. This does not mean, and really hear this, that we condone unacceptable behavior and actions. It's not what I'm saying. We just don't swallow their poison. So, I know this group. And I know some of you sitting there, I'm not going to name names, have their own unique attitude when it comes to not taking anything personally. Any of you identify with that? It's all about me. Deal with it. That's again our protection. That's our need to protect ourselves. That might work for a while, but deep down within us, we're being affected by it. We want to be able to come from a place of strength, a place of knowing the truth of who we are. So, we want to be able to come from this place. I am who I am. Your approval is not needed. Doesn't that feel so much better? I am who I am. I don't need anyone else's approval. And that song said it so well. You know, free to live my life, no matter what they say. And I know we've all walked this at some time in our journey. You know, we haven't walked the walk or the life that someone wanted us to or had planned for us. When we own the truth of who we are, what others think is irrelevant. And that's not coming from this tough in your face place. It's coming from this quiet strength within us. So you're at work one day and you make a mistake and your boss calls you stupid. Now I just using these. I know this doesn't happen. They use different words, longer words or something. But I don't take it personally because I know I'm not stupid. Do you hear that? So no matter what sounds, if I know my strength, I'm not going to take it personally. But it goes the other way too. So the next day you go in, you do something awesome, and he tells you you're smart. I can't take that personally either, can I? I can't attach to either one because if I do, I'm making my happiness depend on someone else. No matter what anyone says, it doesn't change the truth of who I am. All four agreements are about knowing this truth. So we have to become willing to take an honest look at ourselves. Is there any truth to what the person is saying? We want to check that out. Is there any truth to it? Because there could be. And if there is, we learn from it and we commit to do better. But we don't let it take our serenity, our peace, our joy, our happiness away. We say, oh, wow, thank you for the opportunity that I can be called up higher. We release it because holding on to it doesn't serve anyone. And then we turn our focus from the outside, from the noise, from the influence of the outer. We turn it inward. Because within here is a quiet place. There's wisdom. There's a calm presence. Eckhart Tolle wrote, I am not my thoughts, but the awareness behind them. Can you feel that? I am not my thoughts, but the awareness behind them. You've got it. You know it. You feel it. But it's easy to forget it when we're out here in the world, isn't it? We think we're our minds. We think we're our thoughts, our opinions, our beliefs. But in reality, we are the witnessing presence that surrounds them. We are the witnessing presence. So, in this article, Don Ruiz writes, I love this. I've never seen this written this way before. My identity may be Miguel Ruiz, but in reality, who I really am is the force that moves the body of Miguel Ruiz. I've never seen it written that way before. Who you really are is the force that moves your body. Who I am, who you are, is that inner presence, what we call in unity the Christ Spirit, the divine within us. That's waiting to be expressed. Now, Dixie and I have no idea what we're saying. I don't know what she's saying in meditation. She said these words in meditation, and I went, you see how it just all connects. The Christ Spirit within us, waiting to express in and through us. For in him we live and move and have our being. That's in Acts. Our freedom comes from not taking things personally. It frees others from having to treat me a certain way. My poor friend had to treat me a certain way because I was so sensitive, because I took everything personally. It frees me to live authentically, not worrying about how I'm perceived. I can be myself. How free does that feel? And you know what? I see you all experience that on Sundays, especially where the music is really going and everybody's dancing around. That free feeling becomes contagious. Not taking things personally enables us to see and hear sooner and more clearly the higher good, the divine order in life. So this week, I want you to think about this. What is it you can stop taking personally? I'm sure every single one of you right now has something going on that you're taking personally. So find it, and then here's what I want you to do with it. Replace those negative thoughts that you've accepted from somewhere else. Replace them with gentler thoughts, with kinder thoughts about you, with compassionate thoughts about you. Be kind to yourself. And then focus on how awesome you are. How awesome your life is, because it is. And make your mantra, remember we did mantras, make your mantra, thank you, thank you, thank you. This week, make the agreement not to take things personally. I want you to get your little cards out now. Because it's not about me. It's not about me. Come on. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. And the other side, it's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. Thank you, God, and God bless you. Amen.